If you're looking for an investment option, something that will put money in your shokoto once in a while, then we're talking about any investment for it to be worked well. Further investment has to be made. If you put an apartment as an off-land project, you would have received 100% in 10 apartments that you want to sell in 3 months.
Are you serious?
Yes, while you're still constructing.
Whoa. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another insightful, interesting, educating episode of the Real Deal Naija hashtag thread Naija. Use the hashtag everywhere. I have a question for you. Have you liked? Have you shared? Have you subscribed already? Now, if you think real estate does not concern you, it does, because you live under a roof. You're constantly walking on land. Your business is on land. And if you don't have a property to yourself, definitely you know people who are investing in real estate. So that is why you should share this information, because someday, don't think you can't buy a property today. Someday, this is going to be your ultimate resource for real estate investing. So do well to share, like, and subscribe. Use the hashtag #ThreadNaija. Now, our previous episodes, we had really insightful tips that came from our guests. And by popular demand, we have brought back our guests because most of you sent in messages, you enjoyed the tips, and then you got so many insider tips that some developers will usually not tell you. So today, I have brought back with me
Mr. Frank Wabiani.
And Thank you for joining us today. So today, we got a question. Now, to everybody who has been sending us messages, thank you so much. Please keep the messages coming. So we got a question asking, investing in apartments or in duplex, which one is more profitable and why? Should I go for any of that?
Let's actually define what an apartment means. It's probably a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom.
Yes.
On one floor. A duplex is could be 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or 4-bedroom, or 5 bedrooms, depending on what the developer wants to build. But it's on 2 floors. That is ground floor plus one, which is the first floor. So these are 2 different housing types. But according to the Nigerian property price index in 2024.
Facts and statistics.
There was a rising need for apartments.
Okay.
Owing to the short-let apartment business.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and then the Dirty December stuff came, and I'm sure I can't confirm those numbers because I wasn't one who ran the research, but the numbers are quite high.
A lot of people wanted apartments instead of hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So now, if I want to invest, now following these statistics, right? Are you saying that the apartments, based on the high demand, is more profitable than the duplex, or the duplex based on the structure and the functionality?
Well, of course, if you're buying a property, the first thing is why you're buying this property. What's the purpose?
What is your why?
What's the use of this property? And so, if you're looking for a multi-family unit,
okay,
you could go for a duplex. But if you're looking for an investment option, something that will put money in your shokoto once in a while, then we're talking about apartments. Yeah. The numbers are mind-blowing. You know, in 30 days, if you're in a very good location, you could have about 22 days
single
booking.
In a month. 22 days.
If you're in a lovely location, and by location I mean there are certain locations that are not just good for.
So what are the factors that would you say, okay, it's close to major location for major events? Probably there's a concert.
Okay, let me put this thing out there now, and it's arguable. But Ikate has the highest number of short-let apartments in Lagos State.
It does?
Yes.
Really?
And it's not like it's in close proximity. Okay, in close proximity
But-
to major
okay.
landmarks like the beaches around,
Malls.
shopping malls, and so on and so forth. But that's not what's
Why?
driving that market.
So
What's driving
what do you
the
think is
market
driving the market?
is need.
How do you mean need?
Need in the sense that people are looking for holiday homes, especially now that you know that Nigeria is now a destination for a lot of diasporans and even foreigners.
30 December.
Everybody wants to come, have fun, and so on and so forth. And most people don't want to be documented. And by documentation,
true that.
I mean they don't want to do hotels
True,
because there are a lot
true.
of restrictions. But the apartment stuff gives you a whole lot of flexibility as to what you can do. You can throw parties and make noise if you want to. People actually want their freedom.
Okay.
So I think for investment options or for an investment option, I would choose an apartment to a duplex.
Okay. So now what you said is, you mentioned something. You said the duplex, the functionality. Why are you building it, right?
Why are you buying?
Why are you buying? So if it is for sole occupancy, like family, you would recommend the duplex.
Yeah, it becomes useful. But let me also tell you about a trend that is happening around. It's predominantly happening in Lekki Phase 1 right now,
Okay.
which is that people, they break down these duplexes into rooms. They call it shared apartments.
Oh. One
So-
duplex with 3 rooms.
So it's no longer attractive to build duplexes
It's going out of fashion.
because
now you have
Yeah,
different
more demand,
people
exactly.
that,
So the sitting room is a general area for everybody. The
Yes.
kitchen general area, but people have
Rooms.
individual rooms.
wow, no, that doesn't make sense.
It's happening in Lekki
So
Phase 1.
the whole essence
He's a
of
realtor, he will
duplex
tell
is
you more.
It's a trend.
But that's the idea is exclusivity, right? The fact that you have the space to yourself, you can't play music because you're bothered about
Well, there
disturbing
are a
this
couple of
person.
factors that comes to play. Looking at the economic downturn, you have to factor that. So people cannot probably sustain that apartment. So they walk around it. What they do is they share. It's called shared apartments.
But they usually know that I'm sharing with this person, or you
course.
just wake up and you see a random
No, of course
person.
you need to do your due diligence, as I said.
Okay.
Backup check, background check.
Okay, so now we've said the apartment is
Looks more variable.
yes.
Yes, not
But how about
For
the
rental
cost
income.
of maintenance? Constant something is broken. I know there's caution fee, right?
Course.
But then you constantly have to, keep the
Upgrading,
sorry.
remodeling.
upgrade, yes, remodel and all of that.
The advantage
Isn't that
of a shared apartment is also shared responsibilities.
okay?
In terms of facility
management.
and the rest of
That's
it.
where it's better.
For the landlord, I have to think of repainting. I have to think of, okay, there's this new interior. I want to up it so it's going to stay trendy. Maybe there was no pool. Now I'm thinking about, okay, how can I do something that will attract? Isn't that additional money compared to, I've just built my duplex, a family, just move in and all of that? The functionality.
Any investment for it to be worth the while, further investment has to be made. So it's not just about buying the apartment.
Keyword. If any investment is going to be worth the while, further investment
Yeah,
has to be
Most
made. Jot it down.
So we're talking about furnishing, we're talking about kitchen utensils, we're talking about even down tutorials, beddings.
Yes.
These are further investments that you must make to be able to earn from this market because it's a very huge market. So, but in terms of maintenance, I would also tell you, buying an apartment and buying a duplex, you'll spend more on a duplex. Size of the
Structure,
property,
yes.
type of structure, roofing. If I'm on the ground floor in an apartment complex, I don't have to maintain my roof. It's the responsibility of the person
Yes, upstairs.
Do you understand? And then the size. They're usually very compact. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom. These days, I doubt if people build 3-bedroom apartments, except for as family units.
Okay.
So I think apartments, they're actually a better investment option.
And also, a key factor is the apartment has a lower purchase entry.
level.
Okay.
While the duplexes
Duplex.
have a higher
purchase entry. Okay, how about the concept of, okay, I have a duplex, then I want to remodel it to be like the apartment thing. You know, you talked about shared
apartment.
That's also a great investment, right?
Yes, but there's actually Lagos State Ministry of Fiscal Planning is now penalizing almost all the duplexes that have been converted to commercial use in Lekki Phase 1.
That's the problem.
So you would go there and you would see that it has been marked X with their insignia on top.
Okay.
At times, most of these properties are even sealed. The issue is in remodeling these duplexes to apartments, most owners do not take into consideration the structural integrity of that building. Knowing that this was built for this, if you're now going to remodel, you're adding structural weights
Pressure.
to it, because now it means everybody should
people.
have an exclusive entry point and all that.
Yes.
And in these entry points, they don't take into cognizance the importance of a safety catch door, which is what every house should have. That's why you would see that you have a kitchen external door
Exit.
apart from the entrance door.
Emergency
So these things are not actually. So
Factored
remodeling
in
is not
from-
really a good idea. You actually even have to go and apply for change of use.
Approval.
Really. So when you apply for that change of use and approval, do you now have to do like an overhaul, restructure, or you just
Yes, in conjunction with the Lagos State Building
Have to
Control
monitor it,
Agency.
To
When
monitor.
you go and you want to, it means you have a fresh drawing of what you want to, but you want to do it on this existing building.
Okay.
What that simply tells, what simply happens is that they approve it from Lagos State Fiscal Planning Authority, and then you have to also write a letter to the Lagos State Building Control Agency.
that's a lot of
that
process,
You
so-
have an intention to move to site. So they're looking at your drawing. They're also looking at what you're building
And also
to
monitor.
make sure that what you have on your drawing is
It's
what
same thing
reflective,
with
they would also bring in
No
on that
surprises.
agency
the monitor,
called Lagos State Material Testing Agency
Hey.
to test your concrete strength.
Is it what
my
the stress?
Test your
apartment. Yeah. Really.
So I would always tell you, I would always go for an apartment
Any
than
day.
Then
for investment.
for investment purpose, but for family occupancy, the
Multi-family
functionality,
units,
Yeah,
duplexes.
go
Yeah.
for duplexes. So if you're going for a duplex as an investor, you are literally just tying down money, because sometimes getting somebody who will want to even rent the duplex
It's always more
problem.
difficult.
is a
This
problem.
must have a farm.
If you want to sell
farm.
it again, is
It's also
another
difficult.
problem, right?
If you put down an apartment for rent and a duplex for rent, the apartment is likely to go first before.
Let me even
First,
shock you. Let me even shock you.
Yeah.
If you put an apartment as an off-plan project,
Yeah.
you would have received 100% in 10 apartments that you want to sell in 3 months.
Are you serious?
Yes, while you're still constructing.
Whoa. You heard that. Wow.
Because there's
So
a
you
short-lived
can
madness
flip-
right
Yeah,
now.
it is.
Yes.
Is
yes.
it you can easily flip
You know,
it?
this dirty December kind of like
Is what
made it crazy.
made it
Yeah, the market
stay, yes.
it's scaled up. So
30 December,
a lot
people
of
want to
this-
do house
Exactly, there's more
parties,
demand
get
for it, yeah.
away, what else do they use apartments for? Personal retreats, girls' night
Parties and the
out,
rest of
it.
parties and all of that. So there is
There's a
a
huge
high
demand,
demand for the apartments, unlike duplex. So if you're considering what is that structure that is going to, bring in quick returns, fast returns, that when you even put it for sale, not just for rental income, when you decide to, take an exit from the investment market, that can easily go off the market, we have all agreed that it is.
But
the
also,
apartments.
sorry to cut you off. You also need to consider the location. There is a particular location that apartments goes faster than duplexes.
Okay.
Those are factors. There are some interplay of factors.
There are also some communities that the developers' specification, you can't build
can't be
apartments
an
in.
apartment. yeah.
Okay.
You can't have apartments, for example, in Icon Town.
Exactly. Single dwelling.
It has to be single dwelling. And not just single dwelling. They will tell you, in this area, you can only build one single dwelling on 800 square
square
meters.
meters.
In this area, you can do a semi-detached on 400 square meters.
Specific land size.
And so there are restrictions, building restrictions
Okay.
in certain communities.
Okay. So coming from the realtor perspective now, right? Apart from the rental income, what other ways can people who are not developers earn money from apartments? You know, we've heard of agents, we've heard of people, you know, there are boys here and there or ladies that market.
Okay. Also, apart from investing, you can also reinvest as an off-taker
Okay. Explain.
before it completes. Before the apartment is completed, you can also sell at a higher value.
Oh.
That's also real estate. You don't have to live there. You have to live there.
Okay.
You understand?
So I
there are
off
stages.
take from
Yeah,
the
off-take.
developer and then I put it in
Exactly.
the market.
And you resell.
Okay. So what other earning means are there in the earning opportunities are there in the apartments apart from, you know, being the one to let it out? Are there other income generating sources that it
I
creates?
just mentioned one now.
Okay.
You invest for investment purposes. You invest to get return, ROI. Before
period
the
of
property is completed, you get your money. You quick in, quick out.
Quick
You don't have to stay for the long run.
your money is not just tied
Yeah, tied.
down. It's constantly
Go to the next project.
working for you. Yeah.
That's what smart investors do. So basically,
Okay, so the for the documentation for is there really a difference between documenting for apartments for commercial purpose and apartments for personal use or family use purpose?
In documentation is actually the same. What differs is how you word it. You know that for apartments, you're sharing, there are common facilities that you're sharing with other people,
Yes.
like the car parking space, there's a swimming pool, and so on. And so, usually, what advise people to do is to do a deed of partitioning.
Deed of partitioning.
So what it simply means is that the particular area or your part is captured in a survey plan and documented. It means that the developer is partitioning this particular apartment to you.
For multi-unit.
Do you understand? And there's been this issue about who owns what. If you have 6 units of a block of 6 units of apartments, for example,
Yeah.
there are certain limitations as to what you can do.
Yes.
I don't know if you understand. I can, except you have a dedicated car park, for example, I can choose to park anywhere. So these are issues that you actually need to spell out
yeah.
in your
For
contract.
okay.
Exactly. And who owns what
parts?
or which parts. I can decide to come downstairs and play football, and I'm kicking your windows downstairs. You know, so these are issues.
Okay.
So in designing your contract, it has to be spelled in such a way that there has to be limitations, knowing that you have other neighbors,
multiple
occupants.
Dwellers.
Mr. Frank,
Yes.
as a realtor, right?
Yes.
How engaged, like how profitable is the apartment business for realtors? Is it like the typical rental tenants, you know, taking, you know, the way
Okay,
they do?
fine. I think I know I'll respond to that. There are several ways which a realtor can make money. Maybe through sales,
Okay.
through rentals, and shortlets. So it's a continuous process. Anyway.
Okay, sales, rental, and
shortlets.
shortlets. They earn commissions.
Yeah,
for
earn
that.
commissions on
In one
those.
of the episodes, you talked about commission structure. Is there a fixed commission structure for apartment, or
Okay.
is it based on the price as well?
No, it's 10% of the value,
Okay,
For rent.
for rent,
Rent, yeah.
generally 10% of the value.
basically. And even for shortlet, the same process. So.
Okay. Okay. Personally, I also feel coming to the socio-economic value that apartment does, I feel apartment provides more employment.
Yeah,
right?
sure,
It
sure,
empowers more people because when you're getting an apartment, you have security, you have cleaners, you have people who are constantly maintaining it. So apart from the fact
It's an
that
ecosystem, yeah.
I am
around it.
earning from it, I've created an ecosystem of
Around it.
employment. So at the end of the day, I'm not just earning, I am also empowering
people.
other people.
Fantastic.
So the apartments, quick funds, you can easily flip it and then your money is not really tied down. However, the duplex is not bad. It depends on why. What is the purpose of building and investing in a duplex or an apartment? Whatever suits your investment needs, whatever suits your portfolio is what you should go for. We have just told you why you should go for either of both. Thank you very much for sticking with us on the Real Deal Naija. Don't forget the hashtag is thread. Share it, spread the word, like, subscribe, and comment. Keep sending your messages. We love reading from you. Have an amazing day.